Shubor nakashlem jong Nongsan Hima.
Deputy Commissioner ka East Khasi Hills District Abhilash Baranwal habakren chikila bathai kubor ha DC office ulapan pa ka jing snokya but ong ba ka board district ka Pynrem jur ha ka baide ba ka Jingïaid ha ka khat khandai tri ubanai nailar arhaja apun Riew ka bawan ra ru ka jing sosi eki katu kat ningot ki Riew pat ba ki bala shumen saw na ka jing sha jrongti ha ki Riew Shim Kabu ha ka por ka Jingïaid rally ka balapan long da ka Khasi Students Union UDC ulo ong baha kani ka Jingïaid rally kabalas dang na jayaw bad la penkut biang ha jayaw bad kilaya ya ka rally bala palat lai kenta ha ka baha kani ka Jingïaid rally kala don ka jingsha thombor ki padba kumjo ru ka jingsha penjulor ki moddur jong u Vivekananda bad unita ji Subha Chandra Bose ula banjur bakani ka penpaw ka jing penja burom me ka jilla bad kalong sep ya ka jing trei ka sorkar ban kinti ka kam jngok kai prathai Bad ong bakani kan kta ru ya ka shong suk shong san ya ki Riew ki bawan shapo ka jila bad kumju ru ki bahapo ka jila shu ula benrap bakani ka jingpin ibor ba ka jing Shim Kabu ki runar kan la ban kta ru ya ki Riew ka jila ki batrei bakta bad ya ki samla ki bapule shabar ka jila
4 p.m. which was duly built by the district administration with strict conditions. The rally started from Jingïaid at around 4 p.m. It ended at Jingïaid at around 4 p.m. Went around the town, and in a series of locations, several incidents of vandalism, arson, and assault of innocent bystanders were reported. And simultaneously, as was reported, there was desecration of statue of national icons like Swami Vivekananda and freedom fighter Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. So that's the basically factual account of yesterday what has happened. The district administration strongly condemns what has happened yesterday because an incident like this, a series of assaults which can vitiate the peaceful atmosphere of the city, has no place in a civilized and peaceful society. Incidents like these have a very negative bearing on all the efforts being made by the government of Meghalaya in promoting Meghalaya as not only a national but international tourist destination which is intricately linked to the livelihood promotion of the people. And not just that, one must understand that an incident like this, I'm not saying that it will have, God forbid it should not have, but may have a repercussion on our people who are living outside Meghalaya. We are already seeing that near Jorabad, basically Meghalaya vehicles are being stopped. 1 or 2 vehicles, if I'm not mistaken, have been vandalized. So district administration and the government of Meghalaya is taking it up strongly with the counterpart administration and government. But however, the problem is that these repercussions will further deter the youths of Meghalaya in pursuing employment opportunities outside the state. For example, around 20,000 job opportunities have been recently notified by MSSDS across different parts of the state. We are anyway finding it difficult to mobilize the youth for that, for availing these opportunities. Any possible repercussion in any part of the country will further vitiate that trust. So that's why, we strongly condemn the incident, and finally at the night, the police had apprehended 3 leaders of the organization, and they had also gone to the office of the organization at Jingïaid, where after the intervention of the community, they came back.
Sir, from past experiences, hasn't the administration learned enough?
So
Such
why was
incidents
there no
happen.
mobilization?
So see, first of all, we are aware of the past incidents. However, the government of Meghalaya believes in democratic expression of right of expression of protest. Now, if some organization does apply lawfully for any permission, in the past, if I would like to brief the media that many a times these protests etc. have been carried out without seeking any permission. This time they had sought permission. Simultaneously, if there is a legal application which has been submitted for a peaceful protest, which we were led to believe would be peaceful, we wanted to facilitate that under strict conditions. That's why the permission letter, we'll be sharing a copy of the same with you guys, wherein we had put down strict conditions so as to ensure that while we facilitate this democratic right of protest, no inconvenience should be caused to the public. We had apprehensions, and that's why we had put security deployment. Around 200 security people were there on the ground. However, now as we see that the route was quite long, and there were pockets in which they could take advantage of maybe not enough deployment of security forces, and whatever happened. So while issuing permission as well, we did take into account these kind of apprehensions. That's why there were strict conditions. That's why security deployment was there. A permission to organize protests is not a permission to assault, to vandalize, to arson, to hurt children. So that is very clear. Whether our response during the course of rally was sufficient or not is something which we'll examine. It's a very dynamic situation. As you mentioned that it was not really an isolated incident. It kept on occurring throughout the rally. Now, I would like to request to everyone to not see it as that the district administration allowed a violent rally, to go on a rampage. It was a 3-hour rally in which, as we were receiving inputs, we were trying to respond to the same. But as the situation continued to evolve, and it was a dynamic situation, there were incidents which could still happen. But then it was not like the police was, we were not really responding. It's just that it was happening so fast that maybe at times our response was not swift enough.
So can you give us a little, confirm us a little detail on how, like...
10 private vehicles have been damaged. 16 confirmed reports of assault of individuals have taken place. 2 statues of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and Swami Vivekanand have been vandalized, and simultaneously 2 vehicles. One is a government vehicle and one is a private vehicle bearing registration from outside. They have been torched and arsoned.
Okay. So now that we understand that the situation is a little tense.
We understand, so that's why 5 additional companies of CAPF, including 1 company of RAF, has been called and deployed. We are trying to make sure, along with along with district police, we are trying to make sure that no further incidents happen, and any miscreant or anyone who tries to take law into their own hands will be dealt strictly. We want to appeal to all the people of Shillong and East Khasi Hills that they should cooperate with the district administration, police administration. We assure them that we are committed to their safety and security, and if there is anything, they must report to police so that timely action can be taken. But simultaneously, we also want to encourage them to not indulge in rumor mongering, and simultaneously basically cooperate with the law enforcement agencies.
So, since they have violated the conditions of the permission, what actions are likely to be taken against this particular group, sir?
So, see, the rally conditions have been violated. Accordingly, the moment, there is a condition in the permission itself that if these conditions are violated, it becomes an unlawful assembly. The permission stands revoked. So it becomes an unlawful assembly. Accordingly, FIR has been filed. Investigation is under process. As you are aware, that police has apprehended the 3 leaders of the organization, and simultaneously all efforts are underway to try and identify those people who were individually also involved in arson, vandalism and assault.
So the union has clarified that it was some other miscreants taking advantage of the situation in the rally and resorting to all this. How do you respond to that, sir?
Yes, you term them as opportunists in this rally.
See, any argument has to be examined against the evidence which is there with us. In this case, if you will see, at the start of the rally itself, there were several individuals who were armed with sticks, rods, number plates were covered, they had masks on their faces. Simultaneously, it was not just a couple of incidents which happened along a long route. There were a series of incidents. If you examine these evidences, I don't think that the argument is very consistent with the evidence. I'm not really going to see, it's a matter of investigation. Ultimately, FIR has been filed, whether it was pre-planned, whether it was conspired, whether it was instigated, or whether it was actually some unruly and antisocial elements which tried to hijack their rally. It's something which will be borne out in investigation, and it will be, it's for judiciary to decide. However, as of now, since the incident has happened yesterday only, we have to examine any argument against the evidence which is available with us. And the evidence is there for everyone to see. It's out there in social media, it's there on media channels. It's up to everyone's guess whether the event was pre-planned, or whether they were members of the organization, or they were actually unruly elements which tried to take advantage of the bike rally. And especially in light of the incidents which has happened. I would like to again take this opportunity to inform you that even when this permission was given to KSU for the bike rally, at that time also through formal, informal communication, we had, not just us, police had also tried to establish communication with them, and we were assured that it's going to be a peaceful rally, that there's not going to be any repeat of past incidents. And even though we did put conditions, but then that assurance did come to us from the organization through formal, informal means. However, since the conditions were violated, since a series of vandalism, arson and assault cases were reported yesterday, any such permission, the permission which has been given for their sit-in protest for tomorrow, we will be revoking the same.
So why has the administration not issued any helpline number for those, because those who were assaulted were poorest of the poor, from what we've witnessed on the ground? Why is that the administration has not issued a helpline and a sort of assistance that we can look for?
But from what I understand, all these 16 people have reported to civil hospital, isn't it, Shah?
Yes, sir.
And they have been given the due medical care. Simultaneously, we have asked our sector magistrate to be in touch with civil hospital in case they require further medical care, let's say something that will require tertiary care. In that case, any possible help that can be given to them will be rendered by the government of India. Simultaneously,
if I understand from...
Just a second.
Sorry.
Please let me complete. Simultaneously, the government of Meghalaya is also, as I understand, is going to issue helpline numbers for the tourists. From the the tourism department is going to issue helpline numbers for the tourists who feel stranded, who want to seek certain help. So anyone basically who was assaulted yesterday, we did provide them medical care, and we are committed to ensure that they do get the requisite medical care wherever required.
Adding to that, is there any coordination with Assam so that our vehicles, our people are safe?
Yes. That coordination is happening at the level of district administration and government to government level. But since this district, I am sitting here as Deputy Commissioner of East Casualties, we do not share a boundary with with Assam. That coordination thing is primarily being done by the district administration of Riew, but I have on good record that it is happening, and it is also happening at the government to government.